Welcome back to the Crypt Door podcast. I hope you're all doing well. Well, today's episode is dedicated to you, my listeners, people who have sent in questions, comments about certain episodes. Today's listener Q&A is going to be on the episode we did a few days ago about when the dead try to reach you. Now, you guys reached out through comments, emails, social media, direct messages. You guys reached out, and we're going to make an episode around what you guys had to say. This dedicated, well, let's try it again. This episode is dedicated to you guys. So let's get into it. Today is a little different. Instead of theory, instead of history, instead of broad discussion, we're stepping into something personal. This episode is built around your experiences, messages, sensations, moment of comfort, confusion, curiosity, and the quiet question that connects them all. What does it mean when we feel contacted, remembered, or acknowledged from beyond? I'm not here to validate or dismiss anyone's story. I'm here to listen, reflect, and explore what these experiences might mean emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and humanly. Because regardless of belief, the feelings people describe are real. Now let's begin. We've got Kathy. Kathy says, I've received messages. They're always subtle and gentle. The basic message has always been, I'm here. Very comforting, not scary. They leave me with a sense of wonder and peace. Well, Kathy, this is one of the most consistent descriptions people give when they talk about perceived contact. And what stands out isn't the message itself, it's the tone. Gentle, subtle, comforting. Notice what's missing? No chaos, no threat, no urgency. When people expect messages from beyond, they often imagine drama, loud signals, shocking moments. But what you describe is the opposite, a quiet reassurance. And psychologically speaking, that aligns with how the human mind processes grief, memory, and attachment. The brain is capable of producing moments of deep internal reassurance that feel external, not because something supernatural is proven, but because emotional bonds don't vanish when someone dies. Whether interpreted spiritually or psychologically, the important part is this: the experience leaves you calmer, not frightened. That's meaningful. Experiences that soothe rather than scare tend to reflect emotional continuity, the sense that relationships don't abruptly end, they transform. And your phrase, I'm here, is one of the most reported themes in after death communication stories worldwide. It's simple: presence without demand. And that's why it resonates. We got Pippadot. I've heard so many stories I don't know what to believe. I've had a lot of death in my family. Nothing has ever happened for me. But I'm curious. This deserves attention. This is an incredibly important perspective because it represents something many listeners feel but rarely say out loud: curiosity without confirmation. You've lived close to loss. Repeated exposure to death often creates a heightened awareness of mortality. That awareness can pull people in two directions: searching for meaning, questioning everything. And the fact you haven't experienced anything extraordinary doesn't invalidate your curiosity, it actually grounds it. One of the biggest misconceptions about after death experience is the idea that everyone should have one. But human perception isn't uniform. Some people report vivid sensations, others experience none at all. Most fall somewhere in between. and curiosity itself is valuable. Because curiosity isn't belief, it's openness. You're not chasing proof, you're acknowledging mystery, and that's a healthy place to stand. Your comment reminds listeners that absence of experience is still part of the conversation. Exploration doesn't require certainty, it requires willingness to ask. And we got the next one from Patty. My mom passed in 2020. I often smell her perfume. I know she's checking on me. I've dreamed of her a few times. Well, Patty, scent is one of the strongest triggers tied to memory and emotional recall. The brain system, the part responsible for smell, connects directly to areas that store emotional memory. That means scent can evoke presence faster than sight or sound. When someone reports smelling a loved one's perfume, there are two layers worth acknowledging. First, neurological memory recall. The brain can recreate sensory impressions during emotional moments, especially when grief or remembrance is active. Second, symbolic continuity. Whether interpreted spiritually or psychologically, the effect is the same. The experience reconnects you to someone meaningful. Dream encounters function similarly. Similarly, let's say that again. Dreams allow the mind to process unfinished emotional dialogue, things unsaid, feelings unresolved, bonds still alive in memory. And when you wake from those dreams feeling comforted rather than distressed, it tells us something vital. Your relationship with your mother continues internally as a source of reassurance. That doesn't require proof of supernatural origin to be meaningful. It's emotional presence, and emotional presence is powerful. Next up, we've got Marcus. Why do some people feel contact constantly while others never experience anything? Well, Marcus, human perception varies widely. Sensitivity, expectation, emotional openness, neurological wiring all influence how experiences are interpreted. Some people externalize sensation, others internalize it. Neither is more correct, they're simply different processing styles. And we've got Elena asks, if contact is real, why is it never clear? Because human awareness fills gaps with interpretation. Even profound emotional moments pass through perception filters. Clarity isn't always the goal, resonance is. The experience isn't about delivering information, it's about feeling connection. We got Daniel here. Can fear create false experiences? Daniel, absolutely. Fear heightens pattern detection, but comfort can also create experiences. The brain is capable of producing sensations aligned with emotional need, whether that need is reassurance or protection. The key is emotional outcome. Does the experience center you? We got Rosa. Why do these moments happen during quiet times? Rosa, because silence removes distraction. The mind processes unresolved emotion most clearly when external noise fades. Stillness doesn't cause experiences, it reveals them. Now, guys, what connects all these stories isn't proof, it's pattern. People don't describe chaos, they describe reassurance, awareness, memory, and continuity. And regardless of interpretation, these experiences point toward a universal truth. Humans are wired to maintain bonds beyond physical presence. That wiring can feel mystical because emotional continuity is powerful enough to mimic presence itself. These stories don't demand belief, they invite contemplation. Some listeners will interpret them spiritually, others psychologically, most somewhere in between. But the common thread remains: the dead don't disappear from human experience the moment life ends. They continue through memory, emotional emotion, symbolism, and the ways the mind seeks comfort and meaning. And sometimes that continuation feels like someone saying, I'm still here. Whether that voice comes from beyond or from within, the comfort is real, and that matters. All right, guys. Thank you to everyone who shared experiences tonight. These conversations remind us that grief, memory, and perception are deeply human, and that mystery doesn't require fear to be meaningful. Until next time, walk gently, stay curious, and remember, some connections don't end, they change form. All right, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.